is hashing the dream, and on election day, say less and vote to re-elect Premier Mark Bradley and the entire CCM party. Ha!
There's a snake in the country, and his name is Timothy. Tell that scam divisions want their money. He went and signed the treaty down there by the library. Bowling and division is his daddy. The man is a scoundrel, it's plain to see. I hear he teaming up with the NRP. But give all of them this message for me. CCM is the one who want to represent we. We sticking with we CCM party, CCM party, to fight for Green City. We sticking with we CCM party, CCM party, to remove Timothy. To get we SIDF money.
We sticking with CCM.
We're going to battle with the same tree.
We sticking with CCM.
Alexis Civilian and Brantley.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village and the surrounding areas, this is the voice of the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, and we are here this evening in the metropolis of Bath Village. As is customary with this party, before we start any meeting, we always put God in the middle. And we always start with a word of prayer. Tonight is no different. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us through another day. We thank you for all that you have been doing for this beautiful island of ours. We thank you for blessing all of the people in this beautiful land. We ask for your continued blessings on us as a party and on us as a people. Heavenly Father, we ask this evening that you open the ears of all the people in the constituency of St. John's. Open their eyes. Give them the wisdom and the understanding to know the difference in these elections. Heavenly Father, We ask that you continue to guide us, lead us, and we thank you, as usual, for blessing us with a strong group of men who have made the sacrifice to lead this country and all of its people in the right direction. We ask this and more in your holy name. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village, as you are aware, the elections has been called for next week, Friday the 5th of August. And this is an election of most importance. We have had several important elections before, but I can assure you this election is ranked as high as any, as important as any other election that we have had. And that is because, ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed a very, very important election, not only for the Federation, but more particularly for the island and people of Nevis. Because this election will determine where Nevis goes in this relationship as it relates to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It is an election where we are asking that Nevis be treated fairly, that Nevis gets what is rightfully theirs, what is rightfully belonging to us as a people and as an island. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is quite clear that we have been treated unfair in this relationship over the years. And I want to say to you, the good people of Bath Village in particular this evening, that you have been good to us over the years. You have supported us over the many years. But this particular election, I want you to do even better this time around. Because this is not an election about CCM or about NRP. It's an election about Nevis and Nevis's fair share. So I don't want you just to see a party in this election. I want you to see that Nevis is depending heavily on you in these elections. Heavily. And I must say to you as well that anybody who doesn't support Nevis in this election doesn't deserve your vote. They don't. Anybody who opposes what the Concerned Citizens Movement is saying and doing in this election is anti-Nevis. It's not for Nevis. Because clearly, this is one election where all of us should be under the same banner. All of us should come together, put our differences aside. Whether you're CCM, whether you're NRP, whether you don't like Peter or you don't like Paul. This election is all about Nevis and Nevis's fair share going forward. Anybody who is not speaking that language cannot be for Nevis and must not be taken seriously. Bath Village, don't let anybody come across here to tell you that Mark is this, or Alexis is this, or Eric is this. This is not an election for that. Whatever they vex about, save that for a different time. This is an election where all of us must come together. So I'm asking you, people of Bath Village, to come out in your numbers, put your differences aside, and let us all vote one way in this election. And that way, is the Nevis way. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of speakers lined up tonight. And my task this evening is just to be the chair of this evening's proceedings. So without further ado, I want to welcome to the podium to address you this evening the Honorable Spencer Brand, the representative for St. Paul's here in Nevis. The Honorable Spencer Brand.
Would you stand up and see your country dying and never lend a helping hand? Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding our self-sufficiency?
Good night, good night, good night. Thank you very much, Mr. DJ. And thank you very much, our chairman for tonight, King, this and that Scarborough. Good evening, Bath Village. Good evening, Bath Village. Make some noise in Bath Village. Good evening, Bath Village. Your big blue CCM machine is here tonight. I want to say a very pleasant good evening to all those who are listening and all those who are viewing this meeting here in the heart of Bath Village. Tonight, we are here on this federal election campaign. And tonight, we are here to bring a very simple message to you. Tonight, we are here to say to the people of Bath Village that on the 5th of August is Liberation Day. That on the 5th of August is Freedom Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again for a federal election. A federal election that really ought not to have been. A federal election which is some 3 years ahead of time. And the question must be asked, ladies and gentlemen, why are we having a federal election some 3 years ahead of time? Why are we having a federal election in the heart of Culturama when Nevisians and Kittitians from all walks of life celebrate in revelry throughout the length and breadth of the island of Nevis? And we must ask the hard question, why is it? But I'm here to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a fight that we must see to the end. This is a fight that the people of Nevis must ensure that we see victory on the 5th of August. This is a fight, ladies and gentlemen, for the betterment of the island of Nevis. This is a fight, ladies and gentlemen, that we are calling on all the right-thinking citizens of Bath Village to stand up with your Concerned Citizens Movement Party. You have stood with us for many years. As a matter of fact, Bath Village have stood with CCM since the very inception of this Concerned Citizens Movement Party. We have had many stalwarts of CCM who have supported. We have had many stalwarts from Bath Village who have supported CCM over the many years. And I'm saying to you tonight, there has never been a time in the history of this country, in the history of CCM, like this one, when we need every single right-thinking voter in Bath Village to support CCM. I am here to say to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that nomination day was Tuesday. And the Concerned Citizens Movement Party is offering to you, the voters of Bath Village, the Honorable Mark Brantley. A man who you know, a man who have supported you, a man who have worked with you, a man who have ensured that many things in this community have had his support from since, well, I was going to say from since he entered politics, but even long before he entered politics. I see some of them now coming. I see some of them now coming in the twilight of their years of retirement, saying that they want you to vote for them. But ladies and gentlemen, this is an election for the fair share of the island of Nevis. And I want to point out two important facts about this federal election. Now, the good doctor who is running against the Honorable Mark Brantley said a few things on the radio a few weeks ago. And I believe that by the next meeting, I am going to have those clips. I am going to have those clips because I want the whole of Nevis and the whole world to hear them and to be reminded of them. You see, we have a program on Tuesday nights where she and I and others normally sit around this table and have certain discussions. And on one of those Tuesday nights, the good doctor would have said that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party have won the argument for the fair share of the island of Nevis. I am going to say it again. I come into that. I hope you go find the next one, Minister Lyman. Find the other one. This good doctor would have said to the world that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party have won the argument for the fair share of the island of Nevis. And I sit there and I say, oh, really? Good going, doctor. Good going. I like to hear what you are saying. But I want to say to you that the fair share argument for the island of Nevis stands on two very important principles. The fair share argument for the island of Nevis have two very important principles. And what are those principles? The fair share argument in one of the first principles states that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party is the only political organization on the island of Nevis that can deliver fair share for the island of Nevis. So, in essence, the good doctor is saying to the world that you have won the argument for Nevis's fair share. And in other words, she was supporting the Concerned Citizens Movement Party, was the only political party on the island of Nevis that can deliver fair share for the people of Nevis. We would have also said to the people of Nevis that the other fundamental argument when it comes to fair share was that the three CCM candidates are the only candidates who are more capable and more competent to ensure that the people of Nevis receive that fair share.
We want the fair share, and we don't care. CCM is here. Yes.
So, in essence, the good doctor was saying, I agree that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party's representatives in the person of Mark Brantley, Eric Evelyn, and Alexis Jeffers were the more competent team to ensure Nevis receive its fair share. So then, ladies and gentlemen, if the good doctor gave an indication and proclaimed to the world that we have won the argument for the fair share of the island of Nevis. In essence, she was saying that she agreed that CCM is the better party. She agreed that our candidates were the more competent team to deliver the fair share. And ladies and gentlemen, she went a bit further, you know. Mr. DJ, you got a clip ready for me? When the DJ get the clip, I want him to let me know. You got it? Just now. She went a bit further, ladies and gentlemen. You see, because she went a bit further, ladies and gentlemen, for strengthening her argument. She went a bit further in her support of the argument. As a matter of fact, she ensured that she said to the world that if by chance she were to win and she was asked to join to form a federal government, she did not want any portfolio. Mr. DJ, play the piece.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio. If I were to be offered,
Play it again, let them hear.
if I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio. If I were to be offered,
Ladies and gentlemen, you hear what I'm saying? No, Mr. Sir, I hear it for yourself. We're not making up these things, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that she has conceded that CCM has made the argument for our fair share. And the fact, ladies and gentlemen, she supported that argument by saying that if by chance she were to be called upon to join the federal government, she would not want any portfolio. You hear more craziness? So the long and the short of it, ladies and gentlemen, why would the people of Bath Village cast their vote for someone? Why would the people of Bath Village go to the polls on the 5th of August and cast your vote for the good doctor? I am saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, that can make no sense. That don't make sense. We are saying to you that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party is going to Bastia to fight for the fair share for the island of Nevis. And here it is that the NRP candidate is saying to you, they don't want a portfolio. They don't want a portfolio. Bath Village, I know that the people of Bath Village are an intelligent set of people. I know that you went to school. You went to Sunday school as well. And some of you even went to Saturday school. Because some of you in this constituency are 7 day. But I'm saying to you, don't let them come to Bath Village and try to fool you with no Mickey Mouse game. This is no Mickey Mouse game. This is serious business. And the serious business that you must do on the 5th of August is to ensure that when you leave Bath Village, the Honorable Mark Brantley is going to give you such a licking at the poll that she is going to retire once and for all. Ladies and gentlemen, the argument is very simple. Our message is very simple. I am saying to you tonight that the NRP candidate that is running against the Honorable Mark Brantley have made our position very clear. One, that we have made the argument for our fair share. And two, if by chance she is called upon to form or join the federal cabinet, she don't want any portfolio. And I'm saying to you, the good people of Bad Village, that is more than enough grounds not to vote for her on the 5th of August. Don't do it. Do not do it. Because she is telling you very clearly what her intentions are. Ladies and gentlemen, this federal election is a very critical election. It is a very critical election. And I know that we have been at various crossroads in our history before. I know, ladies and gentlemen, we have been down this road before. But I'm here to say to you tonight that this federal election will determine the very future of your beloved Nevis. It's as serious as that. We are saying to you, why is it that the Nevis Island administration must go to the commercial banks to borrow monies to do certain projects on the island of Nevis? And those on Sinkits can just write a check. And have certain things done in Sinkits. That can't be right. That can't be fair. And I want the people of Nevis to understand, you know. I want the people of Nevis to understand that the Honorable Mark Brantley has been the foreign minister of St. Kitts and Nevis for the last 7 years. He have rebranded the image of St. Kitts and Nevis. We all know the image of St. Kitts and Nevis globally. And Mark Brantley would have taken over the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and have once again put St. Kitts and Nevis in a very good light. So, if he have done all of that work, if he have put in the effort to ensure that the name of St. Kitts and Nevis is once again a household name globally, why can't the island of Nevis receive some of that benefits? And I want us to think about these things. When I listen to the outgoing Prime Minister, when I listen to him as of late, $1 he gives to Nevis is $1 less for St. Kitts. Now, let me tell you all something, right? If my dear beloved auntie have said to me, do not get involved in this politics thing, I would have said to her, Auntie, I love you, but I go in still. But you know, when I hear these kind of things, right, it really pull at you heartstring. You understand? It really tug at you inside on your stomach to make you feel what it is that these people are thinking about Nevis. And they give you an idea and an indication as to how they feel about us in Nevis. And ladies and gentlemen, I personally don't have any issue with anybody in St. Kitts. I have many friends in St. Kitts. I've been to school here for 2 years. I've developed good relationships in St. Kitts. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, that the time has long gone for us to be treated as equal citizens. That is what is at stake in this federal election. And whether we like it or not, our 3 representatives will go to Bastille and demand that they treat us as equal citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. They have said to you and they have said to all of us that we will not be accepting any second-class citizen status in our own country. We will not do it. So, ladies and gentlemen of Bad Village, we have come to spread the message. You have been good to CCM and CCM has been good to you. But we are calling upon you one more time to ensure that you elect your CCM representative in this constituency, the Honorable Mark Brantley. In Nevis number 10, we have the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And I'm calling upon the people of Gingerland to ensure that you send him back to Bastia. And we have in Nevis number 11, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And I'm saying to the people of Nevis number 11, give your overwhelming support to the Honorable Alexis Jeffers.
We sticking with we CCM party to fight for Queen City.
So ladies and gentlemen, my plea to you in Bath Village, my plea to all those who are listening and all those who are viewing, stick with your CCM party, because your CCM party is the only political party that can ensure true respect in Bastia and true respect anywhere else. Thank you, good night, and God bless.
It's only one choice, we vote for CCM. On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote for CCM.
Thank you, the Honorable Spencer Brand. Ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village, Spencer said something that reminded me of something. He said that the Prime Minister said that every dollar that goes to Nevis is $1 less for St. Kitts.
Every dollar that I pay out the treasury to go up there is $1 less you have down here.
That is not only disrespectful to us as Nevisians, it is wrong in every way. But you know who is supporting that? The ANP. I don't call them NRP no more. The ANP, the Anti-Nevis Party. Ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village, I listened to the PLP meeting on several occasions, and each one of them has dished out what they intend to do in St. Kitts. Not one of them have mentioned the name Nevis. And the ANP is supporting that party. It is important that you understand what is happening in this election, people of Bath Village and the surrounding areas. Because, ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village, the fuel surcharge that is choking us here in Nevis, nobody in St. Kitts pays that. And you know why? Because the CBI money, in which they refuse to give us our fair share, is paying for the Kittitians in St. Kitts. So they pay nothing for fuel surcharge. But the ANP supporting that. And I remind you again that the ANP is the anti-Nevis party, which used to be the Nevis Reformation Party. What? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of speakers lined up tonight, so I don't want to take too much more of your time. I want to call to the podium at this time the Honorable Troy Liebert to address you. Troy Liebert.
That's the next side. Are you gonna try and lose? That's the next side. Are you gonna try and lose? That's the next side. Are you gonna try and lose? That's the next side. Are you gonna try and lose? We're rolling with the big blue machine. We're sticking with the big blue machine. We're winning with the big blue machine. We're jamming with the big.
Bath Village, good night. How are you feeling? You see the elections are finally fully upon us. You know, last night I was up kind of late because I was taking a look at the show that we had in the complex last night, the swimsuit and the Mr. Cool. You know, and I was feeling really good because one of your sons right here in Bath Village emerged as the winner of the Mr. Cool, Rocker Brown. And I think I see his dad, Chris. You know, everybody know him as Ras, right here in front. Congratulations. Chris is somebody who I've known since I've known myself. We went to preschool right across the road there, where we used to have teacher mart school. So I've been in Bath Village for a really, really long time. I've been coming over here since I could barely walk. So I love to be in Bath Village. But you know, while I was celebrating that victory for Bath Village, you know, we had some very sad news this morning that we had an accident that led to a tragedy in Jessop's Village. A young lady lost her life. And of course, that's a very, very sad thing for us here in Nevis. My heart breaks for the family, for the mother and the father and the siblings, the extended family. You know, it's such a sad, sad situation. Somebody who is just coming into their own, coming into that prime of life. And so I want to take the opportunity to send some heartfelt condolences to all of the family and all of the loved ones, and indeed all who mourn. And I also want to take the opportunity to encourage all of us as we go out to enjoy the Culturama. And I want us to go out and enjoy the Culturama because it's ours. But when we go out and we enjoy it, I want to ask us to drink responsibly and to drive responsibly. Remember that there are more people on the road in the wee hours of the morning now than would normally be on the road. So I want to encourage everybody to, you know, drive with due care and attention and so on. And let's have a very good rest of the Culturama. You know, I'm very, very happy to be in Bath Village tonight. I think it's a fitting place for us to come, having just nominated our 3 candidates yesterday. CCM people, let me hear you make some noise. We are ready to roll. You see, yesterday we started up in Gingerland at the David Freeman Excellence Center, and we nominated Eric Evelyn. And then we took our motorcade over to the newly constructed police station in Newcastle. And we nominated Alexis Jeffers for Nevis 11. And then we traveled back into the heart of Charlestown and we nominated Mark Brantley for Nevis 9. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it was nomination day and we were out in our numbers, in our colors, looking good in our blue. And so we decided that we want to drive around Chutong because we have on our blue and because CCM look good. And so we got the permission from the police. The police say yes, you can drive back to town. So we went back down to town, down on the Samuel Hunkins Drive, and we came around and we are coming back up to town. And I'm in front of the motorcade and the truck with the music is behind me. And so we pass the NRP with a little crowd there at the DR Walwyn Plaza with 2 small little monitor speaker. And as we pass and our music drown out their music and all of the CCM people were blowing their hands. And so nobody could hear what the NRP was saying. Not that anybody wanted to hear anyway.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is a bad them. Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is a bad them.
You know, not that anybody at all wanted to hear what they were saying. People well wanted them to get out of town. And here comes the CCM coming through as a good, responsible party. And I in front there, and then I see the driver stop. And the driver say, "Boy, you know what happened? Somebody jump out in front of the premier vehicle." And when I look back, I realize it's Buster. I say, but look at craziness here. Where Buster come from all of a sudden? All of a sudden, Buster back on the scene. For so long, nobody had seen him. Buster is from Gingerland, and Buster lives in St. John's. You understand? NRP was all over Gingerland, asking Tut, Mum, Sam, and Bagay to be a candidate. And nobody could have found Buster at that time. They were all over St. John's and in town, asking Peter, Paul, Jane, and Mary to come be a candidate in Nevis 9. And nobody could find Buster at the time. We have a little rain. Hold on a second.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We go to CCM. Increase the momentum. I'm jamming with the big blue machine. We're rolling with the big blue machine.
CCM, tell them we gone clear. We gone clear. When the big blue machine touch on the scene, we gone clear. We gone clear. Show me your body finger. Your body finger. Show me your body finger. Put them up, put them up, put them up. Show me your body finger. Your body finger. Show me your body finger. Put them up in the air. CCM, CCM, tell them we gone clear. We gone clear. When the big blue machine touch on the scene, we gone clear. We gone clear. Show me your body finger. Your body finger. Show me your body finger. Say put them up in the air. Show me your body finger. Your body finger. Show me your body finger. Put them up, put them up.
I see next side, are you the giant lose? I see next side, are you the giant lose? I see next side, are you the giant lose? I see next side, are you the giant lose? We rolling with the big blue machine, we sticking with the big blue machine, we winning with the big blue machine, we jamming with the big blue machine. I see next side, I see next side, are you the giant lose? Are you the giant lose? I see next side, I see next side. Are you the giant lose? Are you the giant lose? Sticking with the big blue machine. We jamming with the big blue machine. We rolling with the big blue machine. We winning with the big blue machine. Trouble, trouble.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bad at them. Now mix we up in the drama them. You see the next team a scammer them. Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bad at them. Now mix we up in the drama them. You see the next team a scammer them. Now it's me vote for no losing team. Now it's me vote for no losing team. Now it's me vote for no green team. Now it's me vote for no green team. CCM massive we sharing hammer. CCM massive we sharing hammer. Hammer them, hammer them, hammer them, hammer them.
Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Mr. Evelyn, tell him what to sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Yeah. Sit down. Mr. Jeffers. Increase the momentum. Talk to them. Increase the momentum. Hey, Mr. Lyman, tell him what to sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Miss Bradley, a CCM we voted. Tell him Mr. Brad, a CCM we voted. What we doing? Tell him what to sit down.
My name is Mark Brantley, Premier of Nevis. We have employed state-of-the-art technology using fiber optic cable across the island of Nevis and using CCTV surveillance. The idea here is a commitment from my government to have a safer and more secure island for our citizens and residents. And so this was a massive investment made by us in running fiber optic cable across the island, in putting in cameras, and in commissioning just recently this center, which acts as a nerve center for the entire system island-wide. We are taking and using technology to take security to the next level here on the island of Nevis, and we're very proud about this collaboration that we've done to create for the island a much safer and secure environment.
My name is Eric Evelyn, and I am running for the constituency of Nevis 10. And I'm here because I want to be re-elected to continue to serve the people of constituency Nevis 10 and the people of Nevis, and by extension the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. I believe that I have what it takes to represent, and to represent well. I believe that representation requires commitment, dedication, passion, and service with compassion. I believe that I bring all of that and more. I believe that I bring the energy that is required to go to Bastille and to represent, and represent well.
My name is Alexis Jeffers, and I am the proud representative of Nevis 11, which includes St. Thomas and St. James. I have been the representative of this proud constituency since June of 2020. You have said in the past that you needed quality representation. You need,
Ladies and gentlemen, a little shower, a little blessing towards that victory. Come next Friday. Next Friday is Judgment Day for some, and Victory Day for us, the people of Nevis and the Concerned Citizens Movement. That's what it is. You see, as soon as we start to talk about Buster, rain come. Because a long time, nobody hear nothing from them. You all know what they were doing? They were hiding in the background, and they send out a different set of people. They polish them out, polish them up, and send them out in front of us to tell us, oh, it's not the old NRP. It's a new NRP. They change up the symbol and they come out saying it's a new NRP, but nothing tall, go so. It's the same old bus up mango and the same old bun up cane. Nothing new about them. You all see, as soon as we motorcading coming to town, they believe that the road in a Nevis belong to them. They run out in the middle of the road, but they blocking the premier. You can imagine that? Police had to come there to ask them to move. And even when the police come there, ask them to move, they still don't want to move. You all could imagine? Go ahead.
Tell them wicked people, fire go burn them, fire go burn them. Whoa.
Just imagine, just imagine what gonna happen if we go put back NRP in government in Nevis. They done a go answer. They're not in a nothing. But they done in town believe that town belong to them and that they could block up the road when the good premier that the people of Nevis vote for come into town? Imagine that if they want to do that to the premier, what are they going to do to the ordinary man on the street? So you all see, that was only nomination day, and Buster don't come out of the woodwork. You understand? All the rest of them are going to come out of the woodwork. Thank you. You remind me of the point that I was on before the rain started to fall. You see, NRP went all over Gingerland to try to look for candidates. And everybody in Gingerland who they go to, they either tell them, by tal, me vote to CCM. By tal, me want to get myself in that CCM I go win Gingerland. Me no want to be no loser. So you understand? So it's up in Barnesgot. They went and they find a fella up there who was going around and saying, I want to run for CCM. I want to run for CCM. And because he didn't get through to run for CCM, he said, Lord, I want to run bad. Anyway. So they couldn't get him up at Gingerland. You understand? Buster could have stepped out. But when they were looking for somebody, what you do? Run back in the yard. Run back in the yard. You understand? And NRP went all over St. John's and all over town, and they were looking for candidates. They asked all kind of people, because so fast they ask somebody, they come and they tell me, you know NRP call me? You know NRP call me? And a party over in Sinkits, was calling people up here to tell them, I want you to run for NRP against Mark Brantley. And we're going to pay you $500,000.
I see next side, are you the try and lose? I see next side, are you the try and lose?
That is facts. Ain't no hearsay. Because somebody who they call told me that they got the call, and that is what they were offered. You understand? That is why a couple months ago, you all were hearing a kind of name I say that them are going to run, and the money sweet them. You understand? And the money they wanted. And I understand one of them was close. I thought he had the money in his hand. But then the money now come up. You see, because it was an empty promise. Empty promise. They're going around and they're making promise, but it was an empty promise. But all the while, when they're looking for people, nobody could have found Buster. Nobody could have seen him. But all of a sudden, as soon as NRP done nominate the people to take the licks, you see him running out in the middle of the road, but he stand up in front of Premier. But we got to understand, we have to understand that this is how they are. This is how they are. You see, Buster is a good example of how the NRP operates. A good example. They believe that they could do anything they want, how they want, and they don't care nothing about Nevis people. So just like how he believed that he could stand up in front of the premier and block off the road, you understand? Is so they're going to believe that they could do all of us anything that they want the minute we give them the opportunity to see the halls of power. So we got to be careful. And I'm asking you, the people of Bath Village, to send a resounding message. You know, I like to come to Bath because Bath is CCM country and has been CCM country consistently. Consistently, Bath has sided with the CCM and has voted for the Concerned Citizens Movement. And we are asking you to do the same in this election, because we can't give people like Buster them who like to hide behind, and after nomination day, they come out again. Any opportunity to step on people in Nevis. I can imagine. I can imagine them the inner power. I know what they're going to do to people. No. But you see, the good premier is a good man, because he sat down there in his vehicle calm and cool. You understand? He not do them nothing. He sat down there, calm and cool, and he wait till the police get them to move. And then we continued. You understand? You understand? He got brought up, see. A good, respectable man who respects the people of Nevis. That is what we want in leadership in Nevis. A party that's going to fight for Nevis people. Not a party that gonna want to stand up on people. Not a party that gonna want to push down people. Not a party that believe that they own the road in town. And so they could stand up in the road and block off whoever they feel like. What? No. We don't want that. We want people who are going to go to St. Kitts and stand up for us. And make sure that we in Nevis get our fair share. And guess what? Guess what? This campaign started a while back. And up to now, we have not heard the NRP even say one time, not even once, that they're fighting for the fair share for Nevis people. Because they don't believe that Nevis people should get nothing.
We fighting for we fair share, and it look like you don't care.
They don't believe so. You see, for them, it's all about them. They're not about you and me and your brother and your cousin and your friend from up Gingerland or your friend from over in your castle or the friend where you got in cotton ground. No. No, they are about them. They done blocking off the road now. Imagine what they're going to do if they ever get any power. Huh? Huh? They don't sell out to St. Kitts. I getting warm up, you know. So I'm going to go long before I get too hot. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that Bath Village has always stood with the concerned citizens movement. And we are calling on you, the good people of Bath, to do it in this election in 2022. I know that Gingerland is going to deliver Eric. And despite the nonsense that we hear some of them peddling in the NRP, because for them, talking politics is only going around and talking nonsense. I have confidence that the people of Nevis 11 will deliver Alexis Jeffers. I have every confidence. And so I'm asking you, the people of Bath Village, to lead the way on election day. Lead the way like you have always done on election day. And deliver Mark Brantley in Nevis 9. That's my quota for tonight. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Fight for Green City. We sticking with we CCM party. CCM party. We move Timothy. To get me SIDF money.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Troy Liebert. You're on fire tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is Wednesday night. And this is the night when all of us listen to On the Mark. And the world listen to On the Mark. And I know that the world is listening to us this evening. So I want to appeal to all Nevisians in the diaspora who are listening to us this evening. Those of you who cannot make it home for this election, please encourage your family, your friends, everybody that you can to go out and vote in this election for Nevis. Because it is a vote for Nevis. We have no fear about the 3 seats here in Nevis. We know we are going to win all 3. But we want to send a very serious message to Dr. Timothy Harris and the ANP. And when it comes to Nevis, all of we are one. There's no difference. There's no NRP, there's no CCM. When it comes to Nevis, Nevis is who we support. And there's only one party, Nevis, who is leading the charge for us at this point. And that's the Concerned Citizens Movement Party. Bath Village, you have 2 candidates in this area. Well, 3, but one of them I don't really count. two candidates. And ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village, we are fortunate here in CCM to have a leader, to have a gentleman who would have gone on the big stage at the federal level and demonstrated his capabilities, demonstrated his seriousness for the island and people of Nevis. So your choice is very simple. Very, very simple. I wouldn't even deal with Buster tonight. I'll let Troy do that. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I want to call to the podium to address you now the Honorable Eric Evelyn.
I see next side, are you the try and lose? I see next side, are you the try and lose? I see next side, are you the try and lose? I see next side, are you the try and lose? We rolling with the big blue machine, we sticking with the big blue machine. We winning with the big blue machine, we jamming with the big blue machine. I see next side, I see next side, are you the try and lose? Are you the try and lose? I see next side, I see next side, are you the try and lose? Are you the try and lose?
Bath Village! Good night, good night! CCM country! Good night! I want to say good night to all of the wonderful people of Bath Village. It is such a pleasure to be here in the metropolis of Bath, which has always been with the concerned citizens movement. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight. And I want to greet all the wonderful people of Bath Village. And wherever you can hear the sounds of the big blue machine. Because every night, as we inch closer to the election, the sound system gets better and better. Because our message is reaching further and further. And our message is reaching more and more people. And so good night to all who are hearing me. I want to say a special good night as well to all those who are following us online as well as on the radio. Because these days, everybody wants to hear what the big blue machine has to say. Everybody wants to get the message of the concerned citizens movement. I also want to greet all of the fine folks across the length and breadth of Nevis who have been so warm in their reception of us as we do the walkthroughs across Nevis 9, Nevis 10, and Nevis 11. The reception has been so overwhelming. It has been so positive because you know what? The message of the concerned citizens movement is resonating with the people. And the people of Nevis, they want people who will stand for them and stand for Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen of Bath Village, I am so proud that yesterday, the 26th day of July, 2022, myself along with the other two Hebrew boys were nominated as candidates in the upcoming elections on the 5th of August. The elections are only 9 days away. And so, you can start the countdown to the 5th of August, Freedom Day. And I say that I'm proud to have been nominated as a candidate for the Concerned Citizens Movement. Because I'm very happy that when I took the bold step and when I took the decision that I will enter the political arena, I had one and only one choice. And that choice was the Concerned Citizens Movement. You know, the other side, they have been saying all manner of things about me, about Alexis, and about the sheriff. But you know what? Many of you don't even know that the other side was after me to run for them. But I rejected them, and I'm happy I did. Because when I see the kind of people these folks are, all they do is cuss every election. All they do is cuss people and tell lies. And I couldn't associate myself with those vagabonds. I couldn't. And so even though now they have all kind of things to say about me, they were after me to run for them. You have one of them used to come to my office up in Prospect very often. And when he come, he spend up to half an hour in the office begging and beseeching me to run for them. But when I said to myself, no, there are two parties in Nevis and only one is serious. Only one is serious, and that's the big blue machine. And so all the cuss they're cussing me now, I want to remind them that they were after me and they were rejected. And you know what? They will be rejected next Friday as well, on the 5th of August.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do is a bad them.
They will be rejected overwhelmingly next Friday, the 5th of August. We are here in Bath Village, the Concerned Citizens Movement. We are here in Bath Village to endorse our leader, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley, and to ask the good people of Bath, who have always stood with Mark, to continue to stand with the sheriff.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM.
You know, if I were to stand here tonight and to give you the numerous reasons why you should vote for Mark A.G. Brantley, I don't think I'm going to finish until tomorrow morning. But I don't have a lot of time tonight, because you know this is the Culturama season. And we mix in Culturama with politics, but we have no choice. But you know what? We are so good at getting things done that we are getting it done. And so we are partying for Culturama, and the dancing minister doing a little dancing for Culturama. But I also have to be on the platform of the CCM. And so we are here tonight to endorse the Premier, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. And one of the reasons why the people of Bath should always stick with Mark Brantley is because he is a very astute leader, an excellent leader. An excellent leader. He has demonstrated what it takes to lead the country of Nevis and to lead it well. Look at the 2 years that we've just gone through, the pandemic. Your leader, your representative, who you will vote for next week, he demonstrated that under pressure, he is still the best. Months upon months, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley didn't even take a salary from the Nevis Island administration. Irrespective of the fact that our revenue stream was down, Nevis continued to shine. The Honorable Mark Brantley went out and tried to diversify our economy. He brought the movie industry here. He has demonstrated that he can lead and lead well. And so that is one of the reasons why you absolutely must stick with Mark Brantley.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark.
You know, it's because Mark is such an excellent leader why they grudge the man so much. And it's pure grudge. Call it as it is. It is jealousy. They're jealous the man because the man bright, because the man eloquent, because the man can lead the country of Nevis. That is why they hate the man. But you know what? The more they hate him, is the bigger the victory gonna be. The bigger the victory will be. You have to continue to stick with Mark Brantley. Because you know what? Since he entered politics, the grudge and the jealousy has been so bad that they have tried and tried and tried. They dig and dig and dig, and they can't find a thing on Mark. They can't find a thing on him. No kind of corruption issue. No kind of scandal associated with Mark Bradley. No matter what they try, no matter how they dig, you can't find nothing because there's nothing there. The hands of Mark A.G. Brantley are clean. And so are the hands of Alexis Jeffers. And so are these hands as well. That's why we call us the three Hebrew boys.
What?
Because our hands are clean. And that is what you look for when you're looking for a representative. You have it in Mark Brantley. You have it in Mark A.G. Brantley. And that is why you absolutely must continue to rally with Mark. You know, Mark has demonstrated that he can lead and lead well. As the premier, before he became the premier, as a member of the Nevis Island administration, he represented you and represented you well. Since he became the premier, he has done even more. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now into the campaign for a federal election. And since Mark has been in the federal cabinet, there again, he has demonstrated what an excellent politician and what an excellent representative he is in Bastille. Since Mark became the foreign minister, since he became the foreign minister, he has ensured that people from right here on the island of Nevis are now ambassadors and working all over the world, representing the Federation. Before Mark went there, nobody from Nevis was even considered. But Mark has been looking out for the people of Nevis, including the people of Bath Village. And of course, it has been said night after night, and we will continue to say that Mark Brantley has been, by test, the best foreign affairs minister that the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis has ever seen and will ever see. You can't dispute that. The facts are there. He has taken our passport to #1 in the region. Never reached to that height. He has worked so diligently to ensure that our passport get that recognition. And even he has worked so hard for that. The same passport that is making so much money, even though it is Mark that put the passport up there, they still ain't want to give us what belongs to us. Mark A.G. Brantley has been standing up for Nevis. That is another reason why you must continue to stand with him. Ever since he went to Bastille, he has been standing for the cause of Nevis. He has been standing for the visions and residents. And of course, the naysayers and the people on the other side would say, oh, how come he just asks for fair share? These people really don't listen. They don't follow. Or, as my good friend Spencer would say, they are just being dishonest. I would say they're just being lie. Because Mark has been campaigning for our fair share since he went to Bastille, and especially since he took over as premier. He has said numerous letters he has written, numerous meetings he have held, but of course he has been deceived and he has been lied to. And so Mark Brantley has been standing for Nevis. Do you remember when they took off all those names off the voters list? Do you remember that? I'm sure people from Bath Village names came off as well. Because people from all over Nevis names came off the list. And they were targeting his constituency. And so I'm sure people of Bath Village name came up as well. Who stood for you? Wasn't Mark A.G. Brantley who stood for you? And so he has demonstrated that he's a selfless man, always standing up for you, always wanting to ensure that you can exercise your franchise, you can exercise your right as a voter. And so, the message is clear that Mark A.G. Brantley is the best by test for Bath Village and for Nevis 9.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now.
He has demonstrated that over and over and over again. And you know, every time there is an election, every time there is an election, they parading up and down the place and saying, Mark going lose, Mark going lose. But you know the good thing about it is, every election the margin keep going up.
I see next side, are you the try and lose? I see next side, are you the...
That's the same thing we're going to ask them next week, Saturday morning. Are you not tired, lose?
Are you the try and lose? I see next side, are you the try and lose?
That's what we're going to ask them next Saturday. Well, even before next Saturday, next Friday night, we're going to ask them that. Because every time the counts come out of Bath Village, Mark Brantley is always ahead. And we know it will happen again next week, Friday. Come next Friday. Bath has never let down Mark. And Mark has never let down Bath. And every time there is an election, they come with a different candidate. They're coming up and down the place saying, oh, Paul said this and Paul said that. Well, I want to tell the people of Nevis, Poles don't vote. People vote. And the people of Bath will be voting for Mark.
CCM we voted. Tell them Mr. Brand. CCM we voted.
You know, when Spencer was up here, the DJ played a clip of the lady who is running against Mark. And I want to hear the clip again.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a...
Play it again.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
And she said that with so much confidence, you know? She spoke it so well. If I were to be offered, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
You all understand what she really saying now? Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I mean, could you imagine a candidate is coming in front of you, the people of Bath Village, to ask you for your vote and gonna tell you on radio that she don't want a portfolio? All she's simply saying that I do not want the work. I do not want the job. And if you don't want the job, then what are you running for? What are you really running for? You running for style? You running for good looks? Are you running to collect the money? It got to be that. Because she never said I would not take the salary. She said she don't want the job. And so, when you make the comparison Mark Brantley, ever since he stepped foot in Bastia, has had a portfolio. And he has not only had a portfolio, he has demonstrated that he is the best man for that portfolio. And for somebody to come up front before even the election day to say that she don't want no portfolio, it shows you that she feels that she's not competent enough for the job. You have a competent man in Mark A.G. Brantley who can take any portfolio and who can shine in any portfolio. And so the message has to be clear that the only option for Bath Village and for Nevis 9 is Mark A.G. Brantley.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now.
And as I tell you, you know, if I had to stand here and give you all the reasons why Mark should be the representative for Bath, I would be here all night. But I don't have all night, right? And so in Bath and in Nevis 9, we want you to go out in your overwhelming numbers, as you normally do, and cast your vote for the hammer. It will be hammer time come Friday, the 5th of August. And as Mark has always said, as Mark has been saying night after night, he feels good now that me and Alexis join him in the federal government. We are a strong, united team. And Mark not going to sink it without Alexis and Eric. Nothing tall go so. And so irrespective of what they're talking about these polls, I am here to tell the people of Bath that come next Friday, it will be 9, 10, and 11 for CCM.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We vote for CCM.
We have been saying night after night what our plan is when we get the fair share. Because we are the only party that's standing up for Nevis and standing for you. And that is why you have to stand with us. And so I'm asking the good people of Bath, come next Friday, turn out and turn out early. Start looking for your voter ID cards. And a lot of people are panicking, and I need to say this, because people have been panicking and said, I can't find my card expire, have no fear. Once you are duly registered to vote, you can vote with your passport, you can vote with your social security card, you can vote with your driver's license. So once your name is on that list, even if you do not have your voter ID card, even if it's expired, you will be allowed to cast your vote for Mark A.G. Brantley. This is an important election. And that is what we have been saying on all of our walkthroughs and on all of our platforms. It's a crucial time for the island of Nevis. A time that could decide our future. A time that could decide your future. And that is why it is absolutely imperative that you go out and vote and take along your family, take along your friends, and get the job done.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We vote for CCM.
Now, as I said, we are confident that Mark is going to get the job done in 9. Up in Nevis 10. I don't even need to speak about that. Because I am the one running in Nevis 10. The same one that the other side wanted me to run for them. And if they didn't see a quality in me, they wouldn't have been asking me to run for them anyway. If they didn't think that I was a good candidate, they would not have been after me. And so the good people of St. George Gingerland, they know that they have a son of the soil who has always represented them well. And that will continue after the 5th of August. And over in Nevis 11, oh, Nevis 11, Oh, Nevis 11. Nevis 11, where are you? Because we know all of what they got to go on with. All of what they got to go on with. Alexis is going to win that seat handsomely. Not by not 10 and 15 and 20 votes. By hundreds.
Easy, we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bother them.
By hundreds. And so I am reminding the people of St. James and St. Thomas's. You did a great thing in 2020. You have seen the results. You have seen what Alexis can do. You have seen what Alexis has been doing in Bastia. You have seen what he is doing on the island of Nevis. And that is why you must send a resounding message that Nevis 11 belongs to none other than Alexis Jeffers. And so, on the 5th of August, as I said, we were fortunate to be nominated yesterday. We want to thank the good people who have nominated us. And we want to thank the people in advance who will be voting in their huge numbers for Mark, Eric, and Alexis. We want you to get the job done early on the 5th of August. On the 5th of August, in Nevis 9, there is no other choice but Mark. You heard what the lady had to say. She said she don't want the portfolio. And we know we'll get the job done in 10 and 11. And so, I want to remind the people of Bath. And you know, now that it's coming close to the election, now that it's coming close to the 5th of August, the people on the other side, they're looking all kind of issues. Because you realize they don't have anything on the CCM. You realize they don't have anything on the 3 Hebrew boys. And so every little nonsense, they're trying to make a big issue of it. And so, I know they have made a big issue of me, but you're going to continue to make the issue. Because I want to tell the people of Bath that if somebody could come in front of you and say they don't want a portfolio, you cannot vote for her. So if you're not Bath Village, if you're not voting for Mark Brantley and the CCM, stay home next Friday.
What?
Mark is the only choice, the only serious candidate in this race. The only one. I am the only serious candidate up in Nevis 10. Alexis is the only serious candidate up in Nevis 11. And that is why next Friday, again, just like 2020, it will be a clean sweep for the CCM.
I see next side, are you the giant lose? I see next side, are you the giant?
And so, as I leave the stage, ladies and gentlemen, once again, in 2022, it's all three for the CCM. All three, Mark, Alexis, Eric, send us to Bastia to do your work. Thank you and good night.
On election day, we gonna have
And keep the momentum, increase the momentum.
CCM. On election day, we gonna bang them. It's only one choice, we vote for CCM. On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote for CCM.
Thank you very much, Honorable Eric Evelyn. And Eric has made a very strong case for our party leader in this constituency. Not that he had to, because his works is seen, his voice is heard, his leadership is as strong as we ever had in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, the same way Eric made a strong case for our party leader, similarly, I could make a strong case for the next speaker. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, who is our representative in Constituency 11, has demonstrated quite clearly to all and sundry that he has what it takes to represent us at the federal level. And locally, he has demonstrated that he has what it takes to make Nevis a greater island, to make the economy stronger. And for anybody to think that Alexis Jeffers is in some sort of trouble in St. James, they have to be joking. They have to be joking. Because what the Honorable Alexis Jeffers has done for the good people of St. James's and St. Thomas's by extension is remarkable. Remarkable. I don't have to remind the good people of St. James's what Alexis Jeffers has done. They know. They see it every day. And when you compare a man from St. James who have delivered, who have mixed and mingled with the people, who have loved these people, who have demonstrated it day in, day out, to somebody who is out there fighting against Nevis, I said the decision is very easy. Very easy. And ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I want to call to address you this evening the Honorable Alexis Jeffers.
Prince of Darkness walks behind me. But he will never, 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 never control me. Today I live a life of sorrow, working for the joys of a bright tomorrow. Carrying my cross, carrying my cross, carrying my cross.
Thank you very much, DJ. Thank you, thank you. Good night to the people of Bath Village. CCM people, good night. Well, you know, wherever I go, I know places, you know, so we have been heard in Upper Bath, Lower Bath, Middle Bath, down in the mud. Even in the Bath Springs, down there, people are down there listening to the meeting. So I say good night to them too. And it is so good to be here in Bath Village tonight. And every time we have these meetings, it seems like the numbers keep growing. You know, I believe bad people get jealous of Newcastle people. So persons have turned out in the numbers tonight, and I want to thank you for coming. I also want to welcome all those persons who have returned for Culturama. I see quite a number of persons on the island thus far who have come home. It is just a pity that you have come home in the middle of a campaign as well. But you know the interesting thing? In 2020, we experienced history, meaning we were hit with this global pandemic. And many of you who have come now are coming for the first time since then. And that is why I want to welcome you, because even though we are having a campaign at this time, it is a time for you to relieve some stress, be among your friends and family, but also to be among us to make history as well too. Because it is the first time in the history of a federal election it is being held in the middle of Culturama. And so history is being made. And we are part of that this time around. But most importantly, I want you to understand that while you're here, many of you will be around for the 5th of August. And we want you to vote, and vote overwhelmingly for your CCM party and for the island of Nevis. And so, even though it is Culturama, it is also an election time. And it is going to be one of those elections that you will have a chance to make a decision on behalf of this island. As a matter of fact, I believe a speaker said earlier that many persons' names were removed from the voters list back in 2011. And some of you who have come this time around, you were affected by that as well. You were affected by that. The same NRP who did it, they're the ones who are contesting these elections. And I want you to send them a message to never do that to you again. So you have a chance this time to send that message as well.
And so these elections are just as important as any other. You know, coming here tonight, I drove via Zion, coming into Gingerland. And I passed a little gathering down at the bottom of Zion Hill. A little gathering, it's an NRP meeting. And why I say a little gathering, it is important to note that it was so small that it tells me something. It actually tells me that the people of Nevis have abandoned the NRP. And all who are down there now are just the speakers, those people who are participating in the meeting. Now we are here at a CCM meeting. We have a wonderful crowd here tonight. So I wanted to send some noise down to Zion for them, right? I want CCM people. I want CCM people. CCM people, let me hear you. Make some noise. And you know, this is no fabricated noise by a system. These are actually people making noise because the people of Nevis want to send a message to the NRP that it is time for us. It is time for us to deliver this island. To deliver this island from the hands of persons like Timothy Harris, who have decided that he's not giving Nevis people a fair share. The only thing I have to say is that Timothy Harris will be there no longer after August 5th. So indeed, even though we are saying that we are delivering Nevis with a vote come next Friday, we are not worried about Timothy Harris. We are more concerned about what the CCM has been saying and what the CCM has been advocating, which is fair share for the people of Nevis. Fair share for the island of Nevis and the people of Nevis. So when I say the people have abandoned NRP, it is very clear. Because they went down into Charlestown yesterday. But the sun was hot yesterday, no? You all realize that? Sun was hot. And NRP keep making the same old mistake over and over and over again. Going into the heart of Charlestown where people going about their business. People going to and fro, going to their jobs, going to shop. NRP don't make useless noise in the people's head. Listen, they have done so on Saturdays. Nobody studied them. They have done so on Mondays. Nobody studied them. They come yesterday, Tuesday, and still nobody has studied them. You know what they try to do? They try to create confusion on the like they want to say CCM start something. But they could say that, you know, CCM is a peaceful party. All the confusion that has ever existed in this island, you put it at the feet of NRP. CCM have gone about their business. We ain't trouble nobody. We bring the message to the people, and the people actually gravitate to our message because our message is one that is very clear and one is very, very clear to the people of Nevis that CCM has been and will always be the party that stands up for the island of Nevis. And I will tell you, you know, every time the NRP has been asked to stand up on the side of right, stand up on the side of the people of Nevis, stand up on the side of Nevis, they have always failed the people of Nevis and failed the island of Nevis. I always say we must not forget our history. Our history is very clear. And it is our history that is defining us as an island. And the day you forget about your history is the day you're going to fail as a people. When we came to you in 1998 and we said that Denzel Douglas and the Labour Party was committing a sin against the people of Nevis when they wanted to take our financial services money. That has nothing to do with federal money. Nothing. Sinkits have their own international services down there. If it's not doing well, it's not our problem. We had a lucrative industry going on here in Nevis and they wanted our money. Van Samuel of blessed memory said, no way, no way. And you can recall when the clause 111 was invoked in 1998. Went to the house, the Nevis Island Assembly. The NRB came out and supported it. They supported it there. And as soon as they walked out of the halls of the Nevis Island Assembly, they went out and campaigned against it. What? Went out and campaigned against it. That is the type of NRP you have been dealing with for a long, long, long
What?
So they went out and campaigned against it. We campaigned for it. We went to the length and breadth of this island. NRP followed us everywhere we go. When we said secession for us, NRP said no secession. I'm not here to talk secession tonight, but I'm laying out a pathway for you to understand that every time the NRP has stood up against Nevis, they have failed and we have succeeded. So the secession bid, for example, that failed because of the NRP. And we have not stopped at that. You can recall in 2014, when Denzel Douglas stopped the checks of all of our civil servants, when you expected the NRP to say that was wrong, it was an atrocity against the people of Nevis. The NRP rejoiced in Charlestown, rejoiced in the Memorial Square, in the Walwyn Plaza, all up and down Charlestown. The sad thing is that every civil servant, whether you are NRP, whether you are CCM, whether you are non-aligned, all of us were affected. Every civil servant was affected. And the NRP has continued to join with forces and syndicates against the island of Nevis, because not only that, we have now said that Nevis have been treated badly in this arrangement with the sale of the CBI, or the sale of our passport. Those CBI funds that are derived from the sale of our passport. We are saying that Nevis deserves its fair share. But the NRP has been given a script to come and walk up and on Nevis, all up and on Nevis. And every time we talk about fair share, they refuse to join us. This is one of those issues that doesn't have blue written on it. It doesn't have green written on it. It doesn't have no color written on it. All that is about, all this issue is about, is the island of Nevis. What is good for Nevis? What is best for Nevis? And it is all about Nevis's fair share. We have said to you that St. Kitts, out of 100% of CBI money, St. Kitts have held back 93% for them. By way of example, last year, for example, 2021, the CBI program brought in $588 million. $588 million. Maybe it could be more. But what we have gathered and what we have investigated show that it's $588 million. Well, Nevis only got 45 million of that. 7% of that. And when we talk about the amount of money that has come into the CBI program over the years, just over $5 billion, and that's a billion with a big B, a capital B. Nevis have gotten just about $400 million of that.
What?
And if any Nevision right in this crowd now standing here, any Nevision listening to me, whether home or abroad, think that is fair, well, I cannot call you a Nevision. And that is why we have to lay this at the feet of the NRP. When they're up and down campaigning against what we are saying on this platform, you have to say something is wrong with them. They cannot be 100% division. Because while St. Kitts is holding back on all of these proceeds, I want to say to you, when good come to the program, we get 7% of it. When bad come, we have to get 100% of it. 100% of the bad come to us. And when I say 100% of the bad, every time our passport is in difficulty anywhere throughout the world, because you know there are times when they have to deactivate our passport. They have to deactivate it for all kind of various nefarious reasons. I want to say to you as well that back in, I believe it was somewhere around 2013 or 14, somewhere around there, when we found out we had to get a visa to go to Canada, it was 2014 thereabout. A certain gentleman by the name of Magadam, Brogadam, whatever his name, went into Canada and he came in with one of our diplomatic passport, showed up at the immigration and said he had an appointment with the Prime Minister of Canada. But how we got the passport? Somebody sold him the passport. He said he paid $1 million for it. But we were affected by that. We were not able to travel to Canada after that because Canada would have revoked our visa-free access. So all of us suffered as a result. We have our families there. Mother, brother, sister, friend, everybody we used to go and visit every year. You get on a plane, whether in St. Kitts, whether in St. Martin, and you're going all the way to Canada. And you go through customs, immigrations and customs, visa-free, no difficulties. But know what we have to do? We have to send our documents to Trinidad. All the way to Trinidad. Simply because there were things happening with the program that were not acceptable throughout the global community. And Canada decided that everybody in St. Kitts Nevis had to suffer. So when the good come, like I said, the good stays in Bastia, 93% of it. But when the bad come, 100% of it come to Nevis and only 7% of the good. If that is right and fair to any right-thinking person standing here tonight, well, I said I'm going to walk off the platform. Forget about the election. But if you believe what I'm saying here tonight and what I believe in, that Nevis must always stand up for what is right. Nevis must always stand up for what is good for this island. I said join us on the 5th of August and let us go out and vote in our overwhelming numbers to ensure that the CCM party is victorious in constant constituency 9, 10, and 11. Eric, Mark, and Alexis.
Gonna hammer them. It's only one choice. We vote to CCM.
Only one choice. And the choice is so easy. Because when you look at what we are doing in this party, boy, CCM nice, you know. CCM nice. Nice. And I am telling you, with all of you who are here, I am saying to you tonight, you have decided to rally with this party because you believe that CCM is the best thing ever on the island. And you know why we are the best thing? We say what we mean and we mean what we're saying. We have had excellent leadership in this party from day one. And I give homage to the Honorable Van Samry, dearly departed leader. But since the Honorable Mark Brantley has taken over the leadership of this party, I am telling you that he has been prepared from day one to stand up and fight for this island. And Mark Brantley, you know that clip that they played earlier with this lady who's running over here? Said that she want the money, but she didn't say she want the money. But it's obvious to you and I. If she says she ain't want a portfolio, but she going to St. Kitts, she going to go get the money.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
Well, that is sound just like a Bobbin Swanston. Is the most minister without portfolio I ever hear in my life. That was when Uriel Swanston was a minister. Right? But what I'm going to say to you, I can tell you tonight and I can guarantee you that Mark Brantley any day would say, give me the portfolio, but keep the money. That is a complete difference to what she's saying. Mark Brantley will stand up and say, I will take the portfolio, but keep the money. And why I say that is because when the pandemic hit this island or the global community, Mark Brantley, as the leader of the CCM and the leader of this island, said that he would forfeit. Just give up. Not take any salary for the whole of 2020. I don't know when he started taking the salary again. But I'm going to tell you this much. I'm going to tell you this much. If he give up 1 month, if he give up 2 months, he give up 3 months, 6 months, or a year, whatever he would have given up, those monies remain there to be used for and on behalf of the people of Nevis. And that money that was used for on behalf of the people of Nevis would have gone to the most vulnerable among us. And that is a man who is thinking about his people. That is a man who is thinking about the island that he leads. And that is why I said the choice in this election here in Nevis 9 is the easiest choice for the people of Bath. The easiest choice for the people of St. John's. The easiest choice for the people of Nevis 9, including St. Paul's. Because if you're looking for someone to represent you and not look for a salary, that is the man, Mark Brantley, you should be voting for. And let me talk about this salary thing. Because you know the same people who are up and down talking about Mark, Zook, and Eric, I get to pay, are the same thing they come to look for now. Are the same thing they come to look for. These people are so hypocritical, Lord of mercy. It's consistent with the NRP. It is consistent with the NRP. Say one thing and do a next. Say one thing and mean a next. The NRP has not stood up, as I said before, on any principled ground, with any principled stance, because every time they always reneged on it. And that is why we can't trust them in Bastille. How could you trust them over there? When we went down there and said we are going down, three of us, Mark, Zook, and Eric, we have gone down to Bastille to stand up for the people of Nevis. We are going to get our fair share. And if we don't get it, we will have to do something about it. That is a principled stance. This is a party that have always stood up for what it means and mean what it says. And if we talk with such authority on this platform, the CCM cannot renege on that. We cannot renege. And that is why I say the choice is clear. You go over to Nevis 11, for example. I am running against a nobody over there. They could take the clip and run with it as a nobody because I don't know him. The people of Nevis 11 don't know her either. Have been back here in Nevis for 20 long years. You know, 20 years is a score. When you hear 3 scores and 10, that's 70. So 1 score is 20. 20 years is a long, long, long time to be living in a community. Man, if you're living in a community for 20 years and nobody ever see you, nobody ever hear from you, nobody know you, well, where you come to people go ask them to vote to you for? I wonder if this lady think that is how people in St. James and St. Thomas think. Well, maybe she think she's in St. Thomas. But that is St. Thomas Parish. And that's St. Thomas USVI. Because as you've heard, that lady came back to Nevis 20 years ago. Well, the premier put it best in actual back here. You know, one time I told someone who I was in an argument with, and I tell him, boy, go sit down, you're not sure you're in a size 11 shoebox. I don't know what she came back here in, maybe it's a plane. But anyway, she knocked sure back here. Came back here and was over there in Newcastle. I asked her one day, can you tell me who live in the 4th house on the left-hand side of Shaw's Road, facing the mountain? And he tell me he don't know, but I'm one of the biggest NRP supporters. So he must know. He must have known. So when she goes around now, she asks, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Well, if that is the case, the people of St. James, the people of St. Thomas's parish should ask her, well, who are you? Go back where you come from because I don't know you. Go back where you come from. But that is okay because I have been canvassing St. Thomas and St. James. And the people have told me, I don't know the woman. If you don't know somebody, well, what are you going to vote for them for? But there's a good reason why she came back and stayed quiet. Quiet like a mouse. And try to stay out of people's space. Because, of course, we have been asking the question of Janice. Janice, why you run back to Nevis? What did you do to run back to Nevis? What are you running from in St. Thomas? USVI, that is. And we have laid out the case, but you know, I'm going to leave it to Mark Brantley because he's the best liar up here. I won't get myself in trouble. I won't get myself in a problem with that, but the facts are clear. But you know, lawyers can articulate certain things, so I leave it to the lawyer. Me, I just me just a small boy here, so I am going to leave that to the big boys. But the people of St. James have been asking questions. The people of St. Thomas's have been asking questions. And the more they ask questions, they're asking this lady to come clean and tell us what happened in St. Thomas. If you don't come clean by election, the people have said they're going to clean you up once and for all. So the cleaning is coming. The cleansing and cleaning and whatever we want to say is coming. Because you know, when you ask people to vote for you, you must come with clean hands. You must come with a clean reputation. There should be nothing hanging over your head. And right now as it is, that women have a lot of questions to answer. But like I said, if she don't come clean by August 5th, the people of Nevis 11 will clean her up.
Bye
And that'll be
bye.
fine.
Bye.
But ladies and gentlemen, bye bye, it's right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here in Bath Village to lend our support and to endorse the Honorable Mark Brantley as your next candidate and your next representative. I remember back in 2006 when CCM lost government, all of the guys who were there for 14 years decided they've had enough. And that normally would happen. And parties would run into problems as a result. But I want to say to you right here in this very spot, Mark Brantley and I came on the platform of CCM for the very first time. I remember Mark Brantley coming here with a paper in his hand reading, and me sitting down there say, boy, Mark, now some people do it up here, you know. We don't read. We just come and we fire off. So he came. One thing he said then, though, that still stands out was that he said, a new sheriff is in town. I remember that clearly. Well, when I spoke, I was so frightened to talk for 5 minutes and I run off the stage. But Mark had his conversation with the people. And ever since then, Mark has not looked back. That was 2006. And when most people were saying that we should sit down and be quiet because 5 years is a long time to campaign, we're going to burn out ourselves. Mark Brantley and I said, along with the CCM party, let us go to the people because we felt we were wronged in 2006. I don't want to go back through all of the melee and all of the things that happened in 2006. But many of you who have been with this great party for a very long time understood what happened then. People not surely in Bath, down in Charleston, all up and down these coastline, people have been dropped off. But I'm not going to go back there. Any party would have been destroyed by that or distraught by that. But we came together as a party. We galvanized ourselves with new blood with Mark Brantley and myself. And we were able to push CCM forward. Difficult times in opposition. And every issue that the NRP would have brought that were not consistent with good governance, Mark Brantley challenged, I challenged, the CCM party challenged, and we were able to be victorious in 2007 when we lost our dear brother Malcolm Gishard. And since then, Mark Brantley has not looked back. He has not looked back. He won by 30. I believe he was 30 votes in 2007. A wonderful victory at that time. You all remember the celebration that we have. A beautiful victory. And since then, he has not looked back. He has increased his lead election after election after election. That was 2007, 2010, 2015, 2020, and by 2022, he's going to double up the 500 that he won by last time. Double it up. You know why? I say he ain't running against nobody, but he running against his cousin, he say. But the cousin, he say, the cousin going to continue to vote for him. Not vote for him this time, you know. Continue to vote for him. Because up to this day, we can't understand how Pat ended up being an NRP. Pat advocated so much for the CCM against the NRP time and time again. But anyway, she have her reasons. I'm not worried about that. I'm more concerned about Mark Brantley tonight. And I'm more concerned by the fact that Bath have continued to support Mark Brantley in overwhelming numbers. And I want the people of Bath to go out on August 5th and vote overwhelmingly for Mark Brantley. Send a message to the NRP. You know what? If you do me the favor down here, right, and vote overwhelmingly for Mark Brantley, come the next local election, Mark ain't gonna run against a soul. Because they ain't gonna find nobody to run against Mark for the local. Not only Mark Brantley, you know, me too. I'm broken the one over there. And then Eric, you're going to pulverize the one up there in Gingerland too. Because I cannot understand how you could take up a man from up a Barnesgot Mountain. Kinney cat side. How we do? A kinney cat, a backflip, a side slip. How we do it, Daddy? How we get up there? How we get up there, Eric?
I see next side. Are you the try and lose? I see next side. Are you the try and lose?
Boy, me too glad me not happy tonight, boy. Because that is sound too bad. If I don't tired lose, I ain't a loser. I'm a winner. And one thing for sure, when you come onto the CCM platform, you're a winner. So that song there is really good for the NRP. And you know, when that was being played in Charleston last night, yesterday afternoon, But you see the despondency on their face. They look shame. They look bang out. They look tired. They look like they're not ready for this one.
Look how easy we go hammer them. Everything we do, it a bad at.
I see next side, I you try and lose. I see next side, I you try.
Lord of mercy. So yes, Mark Brantley. Mark Brantley is saying to the people of Nevis 9 that he wants your overwhelming support in Bart Village, in Brown Hill, Prospect, all the way down to Cox and down into St. Paul's, Charlestown area, up in Ramsbury, the right side of Craddock Road, all those areas. Mark Brantley is saying to you that he has done an excellent job of representing you locally, regionally, and internationally. And for that, you must be more than willing and able to go out and vote for him overwhelmingly in these upcoming elections. As a matter of fact, I will say to you that Mark Brantley is the best Minister of Foreign Affairs that this country has ever seen. A lot of them in St. Kitts who were Minister of Foreign Affairs get the job because they were former politicians. They lose. They lose in an election, and to give them a job, they put them in an important position. Such as, what they call it, ambassador or whatever, right? Mark Brantley has been elected by you to represent, and that is why he has been given one of the most important positions in this country as Minister of Foreign Affairs. Ain't no losing thing in this. He worked for it. And he has been representing well. He has gone to the length and breadth of this globe and have brought back scholarships, training, opportunities, and also he has made the passport of St. Kitts Nevis the #1 in the region and one of the most sought after in the world. All of that is for him. That's why we say when we come down, go ask for money. Give me money what we work for. Give me money. I'm not going to be. Listen, English, you should talk English up here, but you understand when I say give me money. Give us our money. And who can understand, we're going to put it over that way. But we have found a partner who is willing to work with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not my stage. This is Mark Brantley's stage. But I said to you, many have asked what we are going to do with the money when we get it. I have said to Mark Brantley, housing is important to me and the people of Nevis, especially our young men and young women. Industry is important, and I've said to you time and time again that we must develop industries here on the island of Nevis. One of those industries will be the broiler industry, where we start to produce fresh chicken here on the island of Nevis. Millions of dollars are spent annually on importation of chicken. And I believe it is time for us to start producing right here. We'll empower our young men and young women. We have lands available. We'll make the concessions available. We'll make the money available. Go and vote for the CCM so we can get our money to invest in you. We have to start investing in our people. But I'm going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said, this is not my stage. And sometimes we can get carried away. You know, I want to stay. But I want to say in closing, that in Nevis 11, you have one clear choice, and that is Alexis Jeffers and the hammer. When you go to vote, you're going to see Alexis Jeffers. You're going to see the symbol hammer. But just imagine when you put an X to my name and to the hammer, you're voting for the island of Nevis. You should see a map of Nevis right there. Same thing in Nevis 10. When you go to Nevis 10 to vote for Eric Evelyn, you'll see Eric Evelyn, you'll see the hammer, you're voting for the island of Nevis. And as I always say, you'll see another name there, just disregard that. Fold your ballot and tell them, take a be lazy behind, go find what to do. That's all you got to say when you give them back your ballot. Come down to Nevis 9. Nevis 9 is going to come out and vote overwhelmingly for the Honorable Mark Brantley in St. John, in St. Paul. So we'll have a wonderful day come August 5th, 9, 10, and 11 in the column of the CCM party. Oh, what a glorious day that is going to be. That is going to be the day when we cry victory in this country. Victory for the CCM party. Victory for the island of Nevis. We are going to have a new government, a new dispensation, a new beginning. We'll have new ministers who will bring good governance to this country once again. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been my quota. Thank you for listening. May God continue to bless this great party. May God continue to bless the island of Nevis. And may God continue to bless this beautiful and wonderful federation of ours. Have a good night and thank you very much for listening.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote to CCM. On election day, we gonna bang them. It's only one choice, we vote to CCM. Who we voting for?
Thank you very much, Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And I know you're ready like Freddie. And I know the good people of St. James's and St. Thomas's are also ready to re-elect you to the federal parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, just by way of information, there's no meeting tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is the Calypso show. So we don't have any meeting tomorrow night. I will be singing in position 1, so come early. Don't miss that show. Come early. The next meeting will be Friday night in St. Thomas's, in Cotton Ground, particular. Friday night in Cotton Ground. So I want all of you to come out in your numbers on Friday to continue this campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, the sheriff was born right here in Bath Village. Right here in Bath Village. And he was introduced to the platform on that particular night by yours truly. Many of you may not remember that, but it was I who introduced him on that night when he became the sheriff. I want when we left Bath Village next week, Friday, he now becomes the marshal. The marshal. Because I want when we get out of Bath Village on Friday, the game done. The game's supposed to be finished when we leave Bath Village next week, Friday. So we're going to change the name to the Marshal. Ladies and gentlemen, we in this party are very fortunate, like I've said before, to have as our party leader the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. Because he has clearly demonstrated that he is a God sent, not only for CCM, but for the people of Nevis. And I am pleased, very pleased, Bath Village, to once again introduce the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley to address you this evening. Honorable Mark Brantley.
We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM. The job will get done now. We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCM. The job will get done now.
I want Nevis to be a better country. I want my people to have prosperity.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to the wonderful people of Bath Village. You know, Timothy Harris had 90 days to set an election date, and he set it in the heart of Culturama. And that is why we are here tonight in Bath Village. But I said to the CCM, we cannot have a campaign in Nevis without coming to this spot. And I'm happy. I'm happy that King This and That reminded us tonight that it was right here that the sheriff was born. I remember the night well. It was my maiden speech. And I said that when you see the gentleman driving around, I will not call his name. Tell him I was here and there's a new sheriff in town. And I go in town in the morning, everybody says, Sheriff, Sheriff. So I became the sheriff. And it has served me well, and it has served this party well, and it has served this constituency well, and it has served this country well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you how absolutely proud I am to be the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement at a time such as this. To see the energy that the CCM party is bringing not only to Nevis, but to the country. That we have assembled the best team that we could muster, and the best team that is on offer on the island of Nevis to take our island forward and to represent you in Bastia. You know that in the Honorable Eric Evelyn, in the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, and in Mark Brantley, your humble servant, you have three representatives who will not let you down. You have three representatives who will stand up for you whether it is in Charlestown, Bastia, or anywhere else, because we know and understand why we are elected. You will never hear it being said from this platform that we don't want any portfolio. Because if we are applying to you, and yes, this is an application, every election is an application. If we are applying to you for the job, and you give us the chance to do the job, how on earth we're going to say we want the money, but we don't want the work? That is what the NRP is telling us. They're saying it by some mistake. They were somehow to find themselves elected. They want no portfolio. That is what my good CCM cousin has said.
If I were to be offered a position in the federal cabinet or the St. Kitts cabinet, I would not accept it with a portfolio.
So why is she bothering to the store about people say she wants to run? It's not me who said it, it's she who said it. But if you don't want a portfolio, you don't want to be in the cabinet, you don't want the work, then what is the point? Ladies and gentlemen, I am here tonight standing in Bath Village, and let me tell you, I want the work. I want the work. I was doing a good job, and I want the work on August 5th. I'm coming back for my work, and I want you to help me so that I can continue to deliver for the people of Nevis and for the people of the wider federation. Let me tell you all, when you all voted in 2020, you elected us for a 5-year term. I want you to understand that Eric Evelyn, Alexis Jeffers, and I, we did not lose our job because we did not do our job. We lost our job because we decided enough was enough. And every time we sought to resolve issues, we kept giving what the old people say a 6 for 9. Well, after you get a 6 for 9 enough times, you say enough is enough. And I am proud of the CCM party because you all remember when we came to you back in 2015 and asked for your support, we were fighting then against injustice for Nevis. We were in opposition. Some assumed if we got into government, we would no longer fight. And I said, no. We went down to Bastia and we continued to fight. The good fight for the people of Nevis.
I come for this work. Sign me up. I come for this work. Sign me up.
You're right, I come for the work. And I want Bath Village to sign me up. I want number 9 to sign me up. I want number 10 to sign up there.
Give me the work, where the work there.
And I want number 11 to sign up Alexis. Because we have demonstrated that we are equipped to do the necessary work on your behalf. I made a point because I went over to St. Kitts yesterday for the manifesto launch. And I made a point over there that as foreign minister, I am still getting calls even though I am no longer in the post. Because when international governments want to discuss serious matters, they call a serious person. They want to understand what is happening, and I've said to them, not to worry. I had vacation for 90 days. I will be back on the job on August 6th. Well, that vacation, they sound like maternity leave. Long vacation, but we will be back on the job because August 5th is Freedom Day in this country. On August 5th, we say to Timothy Harris, never again, never again. That is why I feel so happy to be here in Bath, because for me, in many respects, Bath is where it started. Bath is where it started, and I want to thank the people of Bath Village, or as I like to say, the metropolis of Bath, because you have always been with me. My first election was way back in 2007, Oh, it was a sweet election. Run, Mark, run. A sweet election. And you, the people of Bath, delivered for me. And you have delivered for me in every single election since 2007, 2010, 2011, we had a black fox in the Cox box. After we take out he, we went back to normal in 2013, 2015, 2017, 2020, and Bad Village, we're going to do it again on the 5th of August, 2022.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote to CCM.
You have heard us make this argument about fair share. One of my very good friends tonight telling me there's no such thing as fair share. I say I disagree. Fair share means being equitable. Fair share means treating all the citizens and all the residents and all the people of our country in an equitable and fair manner. All of us understand fairness. And all of us understand unfairness. All of you who come from families and households with more than one person, more than one child, you understand. When mommy favored Johnny over you and give Johnny a bigger piece of the dumpling, it was not fair. Fairness is something we understand. It is inherent in us. It's a natural human instinct. We understand what is fair and we understand what is unfair. And the people of Nevis have for far too long been treated as if we are somehow distant cousins. And I am saying that so long as I have breath, and so long as this big bull machine is functional, and so long as we continue to represent the people of Nevis, nobody gonna treat Nevis as if we're second class. And if you're going to do it, and if you attempt to do it, you will have to deal with me, and you will have to deal with the CCM party. So what is fair share? Fair share is simple. What we have said is that where we have revenue coming into the country from the Citizenship by Investment Program, the arrangement, the agreement that was arrived at is that Nevis will get 25% and Sinkis will get 75%. Notice that is not equal. That is equitable because we say it is based on the population. They have 3/4 of the population, we have 1/4. And so they get 75%, we get 25%. They still get the lion's share. We say that is all right. We will take our fair share. And that was what was agreed. But you see, when you have these honorable people who are seeking to use you to get to where they want to get to, they agree to anything, but they don't mean it. And so we signed the Charleston Accord saying what should happen. And then when we get in, they start to bob and weave until they run out of time and they run out of space to bob and weave. And so now, here we are, August 5th, time has finally run out. And that is what was agreed. So when we looked at the numbers, and we saw that over a period of some 12 years or so, the country earned $5.3 billion from citizenship by investment. And of that, the people of Nevis got 400 million, a mere 7%, while we have nigh 30% of the population over here. And then, to add insult to injury, we were told when we said this is not fair, this is not right, this is not what was agreed. Why you make noise, sir? Are you greedy? I never used to get nothing. I should be satisfied with that.
Every $1 million I gave him that was unbudgeted meant $1 million less for the people of St. Kitts.
DJ, you got a clip. When he said that we only want singers for their money, I want you to play that tune. I want Bath Village to hear it.
Mark can run this country. For Mark has no love for St. Kitts. The only thing he loves in St. Kitts is our money. That's all they want. To use us.
That's all they want. But who's the they? You know who the they be? Nevis people. Imagine that this man who claims his father is from Cotton Ground is going to go publicly and say that we only want Sinkers for Sinkers money. Well, I ask the question everywhere I go, where Sinkers get money from? Because the passport says St. Christopher and Nevis. And if the passport is being negotiated in exchange for money, then how come when the money reach, it Sinkers money? And that is the problem that we have, and because we dare to stand up, we have to be ostracized. We have to be criticized. We have to be called all manner of names. And I said tonight, to borrow a term from the late great Vance Winkworth Amway, Timothy Harris is a sanctimonious vagabond. And that is why we will ensure on August 5th, we put an end to this. So we have said that our fair share over that period should have been somewhere in the region of $1.3 billion. Instead, we get 400 million. In fact, when I believe it came home most forcefully to me was in 2021. When all of us know how Nevis was struggling. COVID-19 had shuttered our tourism industry. Our borders had been closed. Our people were out of work. And then in that year, we made $588 million from citizenship by investment. I guess what Nevis get? 45. 45 out of 588. They kept 543 for themselves. And then they say that we ought to be satisfied. And I said, no, I am not greedy for demanding what belongs to the people of Nevis. And if you term that greedy, then let it be known that I am not greedy for me, because I don't look for nothing. I am greedy for the people of Nevis. When we talk about fair share, we're talking about opportunity for our people. We designed a peace program where we said that youngsters who were involved in activity that was unhelpful, that we would seek to redirect them to a path that was better for the island and for the country. We made monies available that these youngsters could get work, that they could get loans to start their own businesses. When I last checked, the peace program had 1,225 people on it. Guess how many in Nevis? 71. 71 out of 1,225. Then they tell the people of Nevis, the youngsters in Nevis, no women allowed on the program. But in Sink is granny and all on the program. You got people in Sink is in jail on the program. You got people in Sink is overseas on the program. Then the youngsters in Nevis were told that if they were on the peace and they were on the step, they can't be on both. So last October, they were told you must choose which one you want to be on. But guess what? While they had to choose one, their counterparts in Sink it's on both. And some of them getting popped too. So the youngsters in Nevis were told you could only get one. But in Sink it's they're getting two and sometimes three. All I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that fair share means that the same rules apply across the board. You can't get one rule for Nevis and a different rule for Sinkets. A lot of youngsters have spoken to me to say they applied to Development Bank for a little loan to start a business. All now they're still waiting for an answer. But here what's happening, election is next week. So all through Bath and all through all the other communities, they're coming now and they're saying, let me sign you up quick, let me sign you up. But Bath Village, where were they? Where were they during COVID when times were difficult and even more hard than now? Where were they when people were crying out for some assistance? They weren't around. But now they come because election coming. And they say, oh, I'm going to sign you up. What you want? But I know Bath Village people. That is why I feel comfortable and confident to declare that Bath Village will remain blue with the Concerned Citizens Movement because we have demonstrated sober, sensible leadership.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the barn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have said quite clearly that we supported the peace program. We helped to design it. And the peace program must continue. The difference is going to be that we will have our own program in Nevis. It's important that we have in the island of Nevis our own social programs run by us, designed by us, because nobody could stay in Bastille and deal with a program in Nevis better than we can. And that was part of the problem. Let us talk about fair share in relation to STEP. STEP between STEP and parks and beaches and St. Kitts. They have over 5,000 people on this STEP program. They took off about 1,500 and gave them a different title, parks and beaches. Same STEP. Of those, guess how many are in Nevis? Just over 300. And every time we try to help a youngster, and we went to Timothy Harris and said, I have 2 youngsters in Bath, I have 2 in Stony Grove, I have 2 over in Zion, I have 1 over there in Newcastle who are trying to get something on the step. He said, his step closed. Lord, no money there. His step closed. But while it's closed in Nevis, every week, people are being added in St. Kitts. How could that be fair? So when we talk about fair share, we're talking about that too. There's a program they call the POP program. The POP program was again designed by us to assist people. Those who had household incomes of less than $3,000 a month became eligible for $500 a month. Ladies and gentlemen, there are over 6,000 people on the POP program. Over that, but in Nevis, 701 out of over 6,000. Same problem. I have a family in Bath that needs some assistance. I have a family there in Lost Street that needs some assistance. The answer, no money there, the POP closed. But in St. Kitts, people are being added on the POP every day. And I am saying that these things are not right. And that is why we as divisions must stand up and stand up together to say that we are not less than. We're equal citizens in our own country, and we are entitled to the full fruits of our citizenship. That is why we are standing firm. Fair share means equal opportunity for all of our people. Fair share means that our people must be able to access all the opportunities. You know, one of the things I'm so proud of as foreign minister, when I became foreign minister in 2015, there had never been an ambassador from the island of Nevis. Now you ask me, why is that? You mean Nevisians not capable? They're not able? Well, I'm here tonight to say that through the grace of God and through dedicated effort, we have a man from Bath. Dr. Everson Hull is our ambassador to the OAS. We have a young lady from Rice's, Her Excellency Sherry Truss. She is our High Commissioner in Canada. We have Elsa Brister from over in St. James. She is in the London office, High Commission. We have Chanel Simmons from up there in the Beach Road area. She is in Washington, D.C. And we have a young man from over here, I believe, where was I told he's from? Mount Lily? Somewhere in that area over there, Sheldon Henry. And Sheldon is in the New York office. And we have others who are in the St. Kitts office. Because I said as foreign minister, The youths in Nevis and those with the capacity must be given the opportunity. And I ask you to measure that against the performance of the Nevis Reformation Party, because the foreign minister before me was Patrice Nisbet of the NRP, and he never put a soul in a position, never empowered one division. And I went down there and I said, while I am there, I have to ensure that the young people in Nevis were trained, that they have the capacity, they have the ability, and all they need is the opportunity. And I created the opportunity for them. So when they ask me, well, what have you done? I've empowered people. When they ask me, what did you accomplish? I took our passport to the #1 passport in the entire region. When my friend Gaston Brown, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, called me and said, why are you getting this thing done? How you just move in all these countries across the world just saying St. Kitts Nevis people could just come in visa free? How you getting it done? Diplomacy, good diplomacy. And that is what I was about. But my greatest achievement as foreign minister, and that is why I'm saying to you, send me back to do the work. My greatest achievement as foreign minister was the fact that in 7 years that I was at the helm, there was never one single scandal involving St. Kitts and Nevis.
I come for this one, sign me up. I come for this one, sign me up.
Clean as a whistle. So when we say we want our fair share, people ask, so what are you going to do with it? And I answer, we have big plans. We want to do a highway here from Long Point, take you all the way along the south coast, open up all those thousands of acres of land up to Gingerland. We want to separate the sixth form from the CSS and create a college of further education for our young people. We have pledged to ensure that no loan at Development Bank for education is any more than 5% in terms of interest. We have indicated, and Honorable Alexis Jefferson said, he wants $25 million to do more housing and to ensure that the people in Bath and all around Nevis have access to affordable housing. Eric Evelyn has said, I will need money for the peace program and for the STEP program, for the PAP program. And I have made that commitment that they will get what they need to ensure that the people of Nevis get the assistance that they need. And hear me correctly, in CCM we do not believe in handouts, we believe in hand up. We are trying to lift our people up, give them opportunity. We are not interested in giving a man a fish. We are saying you must learn how to fish. And we must teach you. And so that you can go out and fish for yourself and support and sustain your families. That is the kind of community we must build. That is what we're interested in here on the island of Nevis. We have roads to build. Bath Village, you need your road finished. I apologize, it has taken this long. Spencer's tell me he'll get it done soon. We have roads to do. We have our airport to extend. We have a stadium to build at the Mondo track. We have geothermal energy that must come. And as I mentioned, geothermal energy, that is what we need if we are to wean ourselves off the pressures that are coming now. You all see Russia invade Ukraine. Many of us don't know where Russia is. We don't know where Ukraine is. But imagine because Russia invade Ukraine, oil prices gone up. And because oil prices gone up, your electricity prices have gone up. The cost of electricity, people are complaining and telling me the surcharge is more than the consumption. But hear this and hear this carefully. As again we make the case for fair share for Nevis, your brothers and sisters in St. Kitts do not pay any fuel surcharge. They don't pay it over there because they over there have the benefit of the citizenship by investment money, and the fuel surcharge is subsidized on St. Kitts. In Nevis, we get the full brunt. We get the full pressure. Imagine you holding back my money and still I get in pressure. It cannot be right. And that is why we said enough was enough. And that is why on August 5th, we are going to finish what we started and get a brand new government in Church Street.
On election day, we gonna hammer them. It's only one choice, we vote to CCM.
And so, I have not said a word about my opponent on the platform. Because at the end of the day, as I did my canvassing in Brownhill, the people over there agreed with me that if it was one vote of which I could be sure, is Dr. Patricia Bartlett. So I am not going to say anything bad to make her change her mind. Because she's been voting for me all these years, I know when she goes in there, her hand going to start to shake. And she going to see the hammer and she going to say, well, that is my symbol. She going to make that X by the hammer. Because that is what she accustomed to do. Pat Bartlett done help me hammer NRP over and over and over. She not going to change now. So I'm not saying anything bad about my good CCM cousin. The only thing I have said to her publicly, and she chastised me for it, I said, Pat, them green clothes you're wearing don't look good on you. Put back on your blue. You look good in blue. But I am not going to say anything about her. The gentleman who can the cat and find himself up in Gingerland. Me not say nothing about he either. Because that a God bless the dead. So, Eric Evelyn, you have said to us that the people of Gingerland will have delivered the victory. I said 10 a.m., you corrected me and said 9. But I said by 10 a.m., you're done. And when you're done, I want the army of blue from Gingerland to come down and spread out across number 9 and across number 11 and work with us to ensure that it's all three for the concerned citizens movement.
At the next side, are you the giant lose? At the next side, are you the giant lose?
So we now go to number 11. We have Alexis Jeffers, who has demonstrated his capacity for hard work. Demonstrated his capacity for hard work. We call him the hardest working minister because when you want something done, give it to Alexis. And he will get it done. Look around Joycean Liebert Primary School kitchen. Newcastle Police and Fire Station. Water Taxi Pier. All of those were done by Alexis Jeffers. When you want something done, you let him do it. And he delivers. He has led a housing revolution in this island. And for the first time in our history, we have housing happening simultaneously in Ghana's estate, in Maddens, in Rice's, in Craddock Road, in Hamilton, in Prospect. And he tells me as well, in Nisbet Settlement. We have housing happening all across Nevis through the genius of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And that is why I am asking the people of Nevis 11 to stick and stay with Alexis Jeffers. You see, his opponent is what we call Johnny Come Lately. Or maybe we should say Janice Come Lately. Because she was fast asleep for 20 years. Like the mythical character Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle went up into the mountains and slept for 20 years. And when he wake up, he come down, he said, walk it. Walk it. And if you listen to Janice, you understand what I'm saying. Because Janice said not keep because she don't know. She's been fast asleep. If you go live in Nevis for 20 years and you don't know who your neighbors are, you don't know anybody, you're not a part of anything, not a part of any little church group, a little choir, a little something, you don't sponsor nobody, you don't know nothing about Nevis. You came back here, and we don't know how you come back, whether by plane or boat. We don't know whether you came in on a piece of driftwood. But you have come back to the island of Nevis and no questions are being asked of you. You don't want to answer. People are asking what happened in the United States Virgin Islands. You don't want to answer. But we know from the record that she was the head of an agency called the Coastal Zone Management Unit. And according to her own words, several members of a team, let me say it correctly. She said multiple members of a team were convicted. And then she said white collar crime. We don't use them language in Bath. In Bath, we say them thief. People went jail for thieving from her team. And it seemed to me a little coincidental that while this big investigation is going on in an organization that she headed, she watched a show in Nevis at the same time and was here in Nevis while the investigation was going on and then subsequently resigned. But we must not ask her anything. When we start to ask the questions, she went and bring a governor from down there named DeYoung. And DeYoung said, oh, Janice is a wonderful woman. Janice is this, Janice is that. Why she never tell us that DeYoung was arrested and charged with 2 counts of embezzlement? Another big word in Bath, we call a thief too. Thief. And then he paid $380,000 back to the USVI government in order to avoid the charges. And I said that is who Janice come lately bring to endorse her. When I was endorsed, you know who endorsed me? Our national hero, the right excellent, right honorable Sir Simeon Daniel endorsed me. She bring DeYoung, charged with 2 counts of thieving, to endorse her. Something has to be wrong. And when we ask about these things, how it is that these things are, she said, no, ask her nothing. Good support of ours in Jessups go on Facebook and say she wants to know the answers to these questions. Well, Janice sent the woman a 5-page lawyer letter. Never read a letter so long in my life. And give the woman 72 hours to pay her $45,000. A poor woman from Jessups is being asked to pay Janice $45,000. What? For asking the questions that everybody wants to answers for. What? What is right? A woman from number 11, Jessup's, $45,000 is what Janice come lately is asking from this lady. All because the lady asked the question, what happened in the Virgin Islands? And I'm asking the question every night, why she don't send me lawyer letter? Why she not send me lawyer letter? Because me talk. I tell Alexis and Eric, I will leave that alone. Let me handle it. I am the one talking, so how come me not get no lawyer letter? Because she knows she can't intimidate me, but she wants to intimidate this poor woman from Jessups. That is what you all want in terms of leadership. And that is why I'm saying we need leadership that is tried and tested. And that is why in number 11, overwhelmingly, it will be Alexis Jeffers again. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been with me in number 9, as I pointed out, since 2007. And every election you have increased my margins to the point where I won my first election by 30 votes. And the last one I win by over 500 votes. And yet every election they come with the same Nancy story. Number 9 in trouble. Number 9 in trouble. But I know with the help of the people of Bath Village, it will be the sheriff again in number 9. And we need to make it happen. We need to send a clear and unequivocal message that there's only one party standing up for the people of Nevis, and that is the Concerned Citizens Movement. And that is why I'm asking the people in number 9, in number 10, and in number 11 to vote on August 5th overwhelmingly for the Concerned Citizens Movement. So let me ask you as I leave the stage, Bath Village, CCM, Bath Village, are you ready? Let me me hear you. Make some noise. Let us send the message to all those who are here, all those who are listening, all those who are watching. CCM, 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 are you ready? August 5th, Freedom Day. Let us go out and do what we need to and restore decency and good governance to Bastille. Thank you. Good night, Bad Village, and God bless you.
I'm jamming with the big blue machine. I'm rolling with the big blue machine.